We have to talk about the water, and let's do so with Elizabeth Cohen and Chad Myers. Guys, good to see you. Elizabeth, I mean, just hearing that person talking about wading through this water, not your average lake water, how toxic are we talking?
You know, that it sort of reminds me of the days following Katrina, actually. And you want to avoid this water if you can, because not only sewage, but which you can see, right? But also dissolved industrial toxic compounds. I mean, you really want to stay away from it if you can.
I want to get back to you.
And you certainly don't want to drink it.
Okay,
to state the obvious.
Let me talk to you, Chad, because when you hear from the mayor of New York, Mayor Michael Bloomberg, he says that city's drinking water is safe, yet we're seeing this stuff spilling into major waterways like the Hudson, like the East River. Right. How did the plants fail?
They were inundated with water. They got flooded. And the water went into the plant. You know, you see those big rings, you know, that's where the sewage is always treated. And some of it is partially treated, but so much of it was untreated. And the water that comes into New York City comes from miles away, 50, 100 miles away, up from the Catskills, down big aqueducts, you know, so that's why the mayor says that the city water is safe. I'm still telling everybody that I talk to that if you have a stove that works, boil it.
The water.
It just doesn't matter. There are cracks, there are seams, there are other places that things can go when you have this much sewage in the regular water all around you. You just want to have that kind of precaution.
But then you have the people who are trying to salvage what they have. They're trying to live through this. They have their clothes. Their clothes are soaked in this sewage-filled water, and some of them are cleaning them with peroxide. Is that good enough?
Well, for anything that has touched floodwaters and the floodwaters have gone away, is whether it's clothes or anything, you want to remember that it's still not clean, right? Because even though it might be dry, it's still not clean.
So then what do you do?
Peroxide is one thing that you can disinfect
with.
So
that is infected.
Right, there are some other things that you can do, but you want to be really careful. Just because it's dry doesn't mean that it's clean. It still needs to be disinfected. And for example, if floodwaters came in contact with even packaged food, get rid of the food, because you don't know what may have seeped in there. So even though there's packaging and even though it's dry now, if it had contact with floodwaters, get rid of it.
Don't take the chance.
No, not worth it.
You know, I was just talking to Jim Clancy in Belmar, New Jersey, and he was talking about how everyone's coming together, which is so wonderful to see, but you have all this water. They're pumping it out, but it could take, I mean, I asked him how long it would take. He can't answer. He was honest. When you have this kind of stagnant water for days, dare I say weeks, what happens then?
I mean, you certainly hear about things like cholera or typhoid in other countries. We really haven't had that problem here. But again, with this stagnant water, you just want to stay away from it. Yeah. It's just, the longer it sits, the more things that can grow in it, and who knows what was there from the beginning. But the bottom line is you just want to stay away from it.
Okay.
The sun has some disinfecting qualities to it when the sun hits it, the UVs and all that, but it's just not enough to take, you just take your precautions.
I so feel for everyone out there so much. Elizabeth, Chad, thank you both.